Hey everybody, how's it going? So it's been a hot minute since I have talked about books, and I have since discovered, since we last conversed, I have discovered a farmers market that also has the local library that's close to the farmers market has a book sale there every Saturday, where all the books are $1. So I have given myself a problem. No, I'm not going to show you all the books that I've gotten because some of them I've gotten for other people and given them away. Um, but I will show you some of my favorites and some of the library books that I have. And also, I'll briefly mention a new project that I'm working on. But also, I want to show you this sweater. Look at this awesome sweater. It's a Disney sweater. But at the bottom it says, what does it say? I can't read upside down. Take care of yourself with a walk in a Disney theme park. That's what it says. And I'm like, yeah, I wish. This is obviously Walt Disney World because it's 71. That's when it was made. But they also had one for the other Disney parks, but I've never been. Well, okay, I've been to the one in California. I did been to Disneyland when I was a wee babe. There's pictures of me as a baby there. Okay, my parents didn't even have to pay to get me in there, but only I only have memories of this one, so that's why I got it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've been there a long time. I think I bought this online during a sale. Doesn't matter. Let's get to it. So I'm going to show you, and I have a couple of books in here as well from a book sale on Christian book distributors, which sometimes they'd be selling books for $1. And I don't know what's up with that. That's crazy. And I also have one book from Barnes and Noble because I had a gift card situation. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. Um, my cat wants to leave my room, but he can't because the other cat's out there right now. So first, this was an awesome find, The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. This was from the dollar library situation. Um, I couldn't believe that I found this, and hold on, let me deal with this baby boy. All right, there we go. I opened a window for him so he could feel like outside without being outside. He doesn't go outside, by the way. He does not. He's an indoor cat 110%. He doesn't even want to go outside, but he loves to watch the birds, and he can't see the birds as well from my window as he can from the back window, so he's just upset that he can't see the birds yet. Anyway, The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. I was so stoked to find this. I keep going back there hoping to find a Mere Christianity or one of his other works, but alas, so far nothing. But I have this one. I'm currently reading A.W. Tozer's The Pursuit of God, so that's my focus right now, but I have this ready to go when the time comes. I'm very excited. And then also from that same dollar book sale, Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Now, I have read this on audiobook a couple of years ago, and I really liked it. I thought it was charming. I've listened to some of Judy Blume's other stuff. I didn't like it nearly as much. Maybe I just haven't found one that I liked yet, but this one I loved. So I decided to pick up a copy since, again, $1. Kidding me? And then I found this. What? Sovereign by Ted Decker and Tosca Lee. Now, Tosca Lee is, I've seen other booktubers talk about her Iscariot book and also Hava Lee or something, which was about Eve, Iscariot being about Judas. And actually, I did see Iscariot at this dollar bookstore. But I didn't pick it up because I'm like, I don't know if I'm interested in this, but I definitely want to read this. So anyway, this is a fantasy about, good versus evil, basically. Obviously with Christian connotations in there. And I'm really excited because I feel like it's harder to find fantasy. That's why I want to write like fantasy that has Christian values in it. Because I mean, I feel like the Invar's Chronicles is more like Tolkien's way of writing fantasy, where it's like obviously it was written by a man who believed in God, and like that's where all of his values are coming from. So I hope that that's the same with my work. And I feel like that's more the same than more like a C.S. Lewis, which is obvious. But in my new series, I am going to be aiming more for C.S. Lewis-esque fantasy. But this I'm very excited for. I love fantasies, and I want Christian values in my fantasies. So that's awesome. And then this is fun. I have specials and extras from the Uglies series. They had these really cool hardcovers, and I was just like, these look awesome. Now, mind you, have I read the first two? No, I have not. But I was just these. I walked by them for like 3 weeks, and then I was like, they need a home. This is sad. Why does nobody want these? They look super cool, and so I decided to pick them up. Uh, I do, and you'll see in my library books that I do actually have uglies and pretties right now. I hope I like them, but if I don't, I'll just give them away. It's not a big deal. And this is from a little free library that I got. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I've heard a lot about Lisa Jewell. I know she writes thrillers. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I literally picked it up simply because I needed to put books into there and I needed space. So I was like, well, I got to take something. So I took this. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but it's there. Maybe I won't even read it. I don't know. But and this is also from that library sale situation. Forged in Fire and Stars. I'm very apprehensive about picking up YA fantasies because a lot of times they end up being a little more spicy than I would like. But upon reading the inside of this cover, it seems like that didn't seem like the goal, if you will. In fact, Ara, our main character, is a blacksmith, which I thought was cool. And she was fated to inherit this role called a lore smith, but the monarchy fell and all that. But then a lost princess comes and finds her, and they're going to retake the throne, and they want to return Ara to her place as lore smith. And I'm like, this kind of sounds like vibes. This kind of sounds like it's more of an adventure than focused on a romance. So I'm hoping it is. We're gonna see. Again, I got it for $1, so I'm not pressed. It's obviously an old library book, but I'm not pressed if it's bad because I will literally just give it away, but it could be fun. And then this was a fun find. St. Francis of Assisi, a book to be read and reread for the sheer beauty of its story by G.K. Chesterton. First of all, this cover is super cool. But second of all, G.K. Chesterton, I don't know if y'all have watched the show Father Brown. He wrote Father Brown. Okay, he wrote the character and the stories with that character. But there's a show that they made out of it. And that show was one of my favorite shows of all time. So I've always been on the lookout for G.K. Chesterton stuff, specifically if there was anything Father Brown. But I was so excited to find this. So I am thrilled to read this once I finish, I don't know, one of maybe C.S. Lewis's The Four Loves, but I'm really excited. Okay, and then this I got with Barnes & Noble money. I have heard nothing but good things about Redeeming Love. And it's basically a retelling of Gomer and Hosea, I think was the husband, from the Bible story. So God told Gomer, or no, God told Hosea to marry Gomer, and Gomer was a prostitute. And basically, the marriage was supposed to be an example of God's love for the nation of Israel, who's his nation. And how, Hosea loved Gomer so much and in fact had children with her and everything, but she kept running away from him to go back to her life of prostitution, and he would keep bringing her back in love and kindness. And God was basically using that as an example of like, look how much I love Israel, even though they continue to prostitute themselves to other false gods, right? And you know anyway, so that's that story, but I guess this is a different, another version of it, if you will. So I'm excited because, first of all, that biblical story is such a beautiful love of God's love for us, an example of God's love for us played out with real people. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to read, I guess, a different time because this is like the 1850s, right? Yeah. And I don't know. I've just heard amazing things about this story. And I think sometimes when we read in the Bible, we just get so like, we get so serious about it, And it's like, of course, the Bible is beautiful and we take from it. But I think reading maybe like another artistic way can sometimes bring us into a deeper understanding. And so, anyway, I'm just excited about it. God uses all types, okay? And then this I got for $1 from the library sale at that. So A Lineage of Grief by Francine Rivers. And this follows 5 women whom God chose. So Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, and Mary. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I found this whole section that was basically Christian fiction, and I was like, they also had Redeeming Love there, which I was kind of bummed about. It's like I could have gotten Redeeming Love for $1, but that's okay. That's okay. I didn't. It's fine. But yeah, so I'm really excited to break into these. They are big books, but I'm excited about it. And this I got from the Christian book distributor sale, which it was like $1.50. Bro, look at how thick this is. It's called The Conqueror by Brian Lipton, and it is in AD 309. Rome teeters on the brink of war. So it follows these two characters, um, Flavia, who finds herself embroiled in anti-Christian politics as she works on behalf of the church. And where's the other guy? Oh, Rex. He is he joins the Roman army as a spy. Okay. And so it's going to be stories about their faith in the midst of all of that crazy stuff happening in Rome. And it should be interesting. I just think I want to dig more into what the early Christians had to deal with, because I think as we come to the end of the world, the end of the age, that we are going to have to deal with that stuff too, and we got to be prepared, bro. You know what I'm saying? So let's dig in. This I got from a little free library. The Betrothed by Kira Cass. Now, I love Kira Cass. Okay, I've read the selection. I haven't read the other books in the selection yet. It's a little bit too overwhelming for me to get into that. But I like the first book, and this looks like it's gonna be fun. It's a silly little love triangle, okay. But the thing I like about Kira Cass, and hopefully it'll be the same in here, is that her books are very clean. So I'm hoping same goes. Uh, but yeah, I like her writing, and it's pretty thin, so I'm excited to get through it. And now we've got library books. Now I'm currently actually reading XOXO by Axio, which is like a little K-drama, K-pop romance thing. I read ASAP earlier. I read them out of order. Okay, it's fine. My library only had ASAP, and then when I went back, it had XOXO. It doesn't matter. But it's cute. It's adorable. I'm almost done with it. Love it. Charming. Whatever. But then when I went, now I've been waiting to read this one, The Floating World by Axio. I'm so excited. It looks so cool. It is based on like kind of like Korean folklore plus like fantasy. Um love it. Okay, love it so much. So excited. And I really like Axio's writing style. I also read Rebel Soul by her. I didn't read It's a duology. I haven't My library doesn't have that second book, or at least I haven't seen it yet. Um when I've gone there. But I like her writing style. I'm hoping this one follows more in the tone. Like, I hope there's not a ton of language, because there was a ton of language in Rebel Soul, which I didn't like so much. So this might be more gritty than like the fluffy K-pop romances. But I'm hoping not. But we'll see. But either way, I'm really excited. We'll see. I hope the excitement lives up to it. They also they have the girl that who fell beneath the sea. I haven't picked that one up yet. I don't know. I just didn't really have any interest, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. And then I picked up this. I've never read a work by John Green. I've seen his movies, but I've never actually read a work by John Green. I actually did have Paper Towns. I found it in a little free library, but then I was like, I don't want to read this, so I didn't. So I put it back. Um, I didn't really like the Paper Towns movie. Like, it was fine, but like whatever. But I do like The Fault in Our Stars, so I figured if I'm gonna read a John Green, it's probably gonna be this one. So I don't know if you have other suggestions for good John Green. Let me know. Oh, and then, of course, I got library's versions of Uglies and Pretties. The Pretties, I would not want this version of Pretties. I don't like the legs. Kind of weirds me out. I mean, this is also creepy. Like a face under a sheet or something. Like, that's kind of freaky. But the whole point of the series, obviously, is like being made into a pretty so that you can be worth something. I've seen the movie. I've seen the Uglies movie. So I know what I'm getting into, I guess. I am surprised that I missed this phase of, because it seems like it came out around the time of like Hunger Games ish time, when dystopian was like big. It feels like that vibe, but somehow I missed it. I think it's because I wasn't like a super reader back then. Like, I read the Hunger Games, the first book anyway, and the second book. Um, but if it wasn't like Tolkien, I wasn't really reading it. Um, and even then, I wasn't really reading Tolkien either. Like, I would try, but it was hard work for me. I was just not a reader back then. I was in school. It was not that fun, okay? Um, so I guess that's why I missed it. But anyway, I've got them, so I'm hoping I'm hoping I can read them and enjoy them. They're all about 350 pages long, though, which is a lot. But we're gonna give it our best, okay? Because I have a lot of but since I have the specials and extras, I kind of want to put a priority on these. So probably after XOXO, I'm going to start Uglies and dive right in. So yeah, those are the books I've got. It's a lot of books. Mind you, I am not. I'm trying not to hoard books. I do other books that I haven't shown you. I have a lot of middle grade and younger books because I have a niece and I know she's literally only like barely a month old, but like I'm like I want to find all the childhood books that I really enjoyed so that I'll have them for when like she's old enough to enjoy them. And because I feel like the classics you gotta keep them. I have a lot of Magic Treehouse books that I found that I love. I still have yet to find Mummies in the Morning, which is my favorite Magic Treehouse book, but we're gonna get there. And I have like back here's all my middle grade. Like I have Artemis Fowl, I have Ella Enchanted, The Two Princesses of Bamar, The Tale of Despero, so fun things like that. So those are the couple little books. I only allow myself to buy two books every time that I go. And last time I bought one for somebody else, so I only bought one. That's pretty good for me. But the first time I went, I bought 10 books at once because I was like, what? What is this? But I'm trying to stop myself from that now. No, no. Especially since it's September. So at the end of September, my library and this library, because, you know, they're two separate libraries in two separate districts that I love either way. But they're both having a library sale on the same weekend. So you'd best believe I'm going to be at both. However, I've given myself a strict budget. So of $5 at each place. And they usually sell, well, I know that my library does 50 cents for paperbacks and dollar for hardbacks. So potentially that's 10 books if I only get paperback back, but potentially not. And I don't know how the other library does it, but we're going to see. So either way, strict budget. And I don't intend to buy all of them for myself either. I intend to buy them for my family, as maybe a couple for me, but mostly for my family because usually my family can't go. So I'm like, fine, I will go and I will shop and I will do my Christmas shopping. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be a materialistic like hoarder. I love books. I do. I love imagination. I love seeing what other people's imaginations can come up with, and I love Christian fiction. Especially now that has become my new favorite delight. I'm reading a Christian historical fiction right now called Mary. It's about the lost colony of Roanoke. Um, I can't remember her first name, but the author's last name is McNear. um, but yeah, I'm reading that right now, which is fun. It's just slower for me because it's talking about different tribes of people that lived there during that, like obviously the pilgrims that came over, but also the tribes they're interacting with, the Croatoans, I think. But they also like speak in their language. I'm not sure what their language is called. So sometimes it's a little bit slower for me to understand what's happening. It's not, to me, it's not a quick read. It's more of a like, I'm meandering through this book because I want to make sure that I get it all. But it is so beautiful, like, um, and the faith content in there is like chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? I'm over 100 pages into it, so I'm excited to continue to read it because it is very interesting. But some of these books, like the YA books, are just they're like speed reads, so I read them at the same time. It helps me to get through more books. But anyway, and plus I'm a mood reader, so sometimes I'm in the mood for historical fiction and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I want to read a middle grade. You know what I'm saying? Like what I just finished a middle grade. Oh yeah. Among the Hidden by Margaret Haddix. She wrote Running Out of Time as well, which is kind of a classic. But Among the Hidden was really dark. So it's about government, a totalitarian government that has enacted a two-child only rule, kind of like how China had the one-child rule or whatever it was. Um, and any like third children have to be like they're killed basically if third children exist. So it follows the story of this third child who has to remain hidden his entire life, and what that means for him. It's a whole series, I suppose, but I found that at the Dollar Library. I knew the name because I read Running Out of Time, which is a standalone. But yeah, it was really dark. I was like, I don't know if I could have read this as a middle grader. Maybe as a maybe as like a teenager, I could have read it, but I think I'd be way too sensitive as a middle grader to read this book. And it was really scary. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I just finished that. That was like 140 pages. Easy. Um, but it packed a punch, bro. So anyway, that's all. I think I'm done talking. Have you read any of these books? Would you suggest any of these books for me to read or not to read, whatever? Um, Tell me what you're reading. I hope you're having a good time. So anyway, remember that I love you, but Jesus loves you way more, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.